Well, I'm Alec Lloyd. I'm a graduate of East Lansing High School. I attended Bailey Elementary and McDonald Middle School. I have 3 children in the school system. My youngest is at Pinecrest, my middle daughter is at Whitehills, and I have a sophomore at the high school. I'm running for the school board because the current board has not been very accountable and has not been interested in listening to other people. I got involved about a year ago when the whole bond issue thing came up, and I watched a fascinating process where people came forward and they said, hey, these are our ideas, these are things you can do, these are things that will build consensus, and the board ignored them. And on a narrow 4-3 margin, they pushed through a very unpopular measure that I predicted would go down to defeat. I reached out to the board members. I asked them, can you make a small change here, a small change there? I said, this is how you build consensus. I want this district to succeed. I want this bond issue to succeed. If you will just meet people halfway on a couple of things, you will have the support to get it. And they said no. And as a result, we went down to defeat. The bond issue was very divisive. And unfortunately, the board decided not to reach out to people and go back to square one, which is what they said they'd do. So I decided to run because I felt that it's not just enough to complain, to offer criticism, but to step up and offer an alternative. And the alternative I offer is one in which we base our movements on consensus, where we reach out to everyone in the community, and that includes the city council, that includes the university, where we look for what's going to benefit all children in all neighborhoods, not just the ones that have more political clout or where the board members happen to live. What we need to do is listen to people. When the board created that committee, the Citizens Committee, what they were doing was they were implicitly saying, we want your opinions and we're going to abide by them. They were delegating the process of planning to that group. Then they threw it away. What that did was that undermined all the work those people had done, and it undermined everyone who'd had a stake in that plan. And so what the board needs to do now is take a step back, listen to people. This district can improve what it's doing. I think the current configuration is inefficient. Since we undertook the configuration, our transportation costs have skyrocketed almost 45%. If you look at the numbers that we spent back before the configuration, a 3-year average, we were spending about $560,000 a year on busing and all transportation. Last year, $900,000. That's a cumulative total of about $1.4 million we've lit up and stuck into bus gas tanks. I mean, that's $1.4 million that went up in smoke, that did not buy academic achievement. It did not buy teachers better benefits. It did not buy better facilities for our children. It did not buy technology upgrades. It did not buy anything that you can use to help a student. No child received a better education because of that $1.4 million we spent. None of it went to any kind of classroom benefit. All it did was fuel buses that created pollution and made our transitions more difficult for our children. That was money that was wasted. If we go back to a neighborhood configuration where each child has the ability to walk to their own school in their own neighborhood, which is a configuration that has served this district for 90 years very successfully. If we go back to that configuration, that money is now available. That money can be spent on classrooms, on technology. That money can be spent on education rather than transportation. So I very much favor a neighborhood configuration. I don't believe the finances at this time show any gain from closing a school. There is simply no way that you can close a school and then make it vanish. When you close a school, you damage a neighborhood. One of the things that I find disturbing about this board is they seem to treat education as if it's in a vacuum. It's not. We're an integral part of the community. We're an integral part just as much as the university and the city. And when you tell one of those stakeholders, or both of them, as this board has done, that we're not interested in your input and we have the power over the education system, then what you're really doing is diminishing your community. If we worked with the city and the university and the residents of every neighborhood, we would be a stronger, better district. We can do that. At this point in time, if you analyze the budget, there is no reason to close a school. Enrollment is up. For the first time in my lifetime, we are seeing families moving back into East Lansing. Young families, they're having children, they're excited about our neighborhood schools. Our excellence is a beacon. People all over the area know that East Lansing means great schools. Unfortunately, they're not as great as they used to be. The transitions have taken their toll. The divisiveness has taken its toll. We can do so much better in East Lansing, and I hope that I can be a part of that. I'd like to put my experience, my skills, my gifts to the service of this community. I'm very excited. I feel very passionate. This is my hometown. This is where I went to school. I don't have any animus against the existing board. I think they've done the best they can within their scope. However, times have changed. They've had 4 or 8 years in some cases to pursue their vision. And I think now our city is ready for a change. I think our community is ready for a change. It's time for new voices. And so I ask for your vote. Thank you.